Everybody loves a good slasher flick, and with the release of the new Scream movie and Ghostface Takes Manhattan, I've got 10 modern slasher horror films for you to check out. First one on my list, The Strangers Prey at Night. Strangers Prey at Night is a 2018 horror movie and sequel to the 2008 film The Strangers. The movie follows a family of 4 who goes on a road trip to visit relatives at a secluded mobile home park, only to find themselves targeted by a trio of masked strangers. The family must fight to survive the night and evade the killers as they are hunted down one by one. The film is known for its very tense scenes. It's actually, in my opinion, better than the first film. I love the cinematography. I love the lurking in the dark feel of the film. The film also portrays a fairly realistic and terrifying way of doing the slasher film. The Strangers Prey at Night is a must-see for fans of the home invasion horror genre and those who just love a good slasher flick. If you're a fan of horror movies that focus on survival and psychological terror, The Strangers Prey at Night is definitely worth checking out.
You scared me.
Now a little bit more on the fun side, Happy Death Day, and also the sequel, Happy Death Day to You. Happy Death Day is a 2017 horror comedy that follows the story of a college student named Tree Gelbman who wakes up on her birthday only to find that she's trapped in a time loop. The premise of the movie is the main character is cursed to witness her own death over and over again, and then she wakes up and relives the same day, and she must figure out who is trying to kill her and what can she do to break the cycle. The film combines elements of slasher horror and also comedy, creating a very fun and entertaining ride that will keep you guessing until the very end. Happy Death Day is known for its clever writing, engaging characters, and surprisingly great twists. It has definitely become a cult favorite among horror fans, me included. If you love horror movies that will make you laugh as well as scare you, Happy Death Day is definitely worth checking out, and man, the sequel is awesome too. For those of you who love the Netflix series Haunting of Hill House and also Midnight Mass, Mike Flanagan has also created a fairly great range of horror films, and one of them is called Hush. Hush is a 2016 horror thriller movie that follows a deaf writer named Maddie Young who lives alone in a secluded house in the woods. One night, a masked intruder breaks into her home and begins to terrorize her, but Maddie must use her wit and her resourcefulness to outsmart her attacker and survive the night. It's interesting to watch the portrayal of how somebody can be so innovative and smart despite losing senses, and the killer in this is kind of a friggin' loser, so you root for Maddie the entire time. The film is known for its tense and suspenseful atmosphere as well as its creative use of sound to create a unique viewing experience for the viewer. By focusing on a character, like I said, who's deaf and mute, the film creates a new level of tension and vulnerability, in my opinion, as Maddie must rely on her other senses to survive. If you're looking for a horror movie that breaks that mold and does something new with the slasher genre, kind of like what the Scream movies did, Hush offers something new and exciting and is definitely worth checking out. Another slasher flick that deserves a lot more attention in the modern slasher horror genre is You're Next. You're Next is a 2011 horror thriller movie that follows a family reunion at a remote mansion. However, the family soon finds themselves under attack by a group of masked intruders who seem intent on killing them one by one. As the night progresses, one member of the family, Erin, proves to be a lot more resourceful and cunning than the other people in the family as she fights against the attackers with surprising ferocity. The film is known for its very clever twists and turns, as well as subversion of the typical horror movie tropes that you see in a movie like this. You're Next is a tense and thrilling horror movie that will keep you guessing until the very end. I was very surprised by the film. If you're a fan of horror movies that mix intense action and suspense, but also in the slasher genre, You're Next is definitely worth watching.
Well, the rules are simple. You can hide anywhere. We then tried to find you.
Now, another fun, kind of lighthearted, but also pretty brutal film, and I had this on my date night horror movie list, is Ready or Not. Ready or Not is a 2019 horror movie comedy that follows the story of Grace, a bride who marries into a very wealthy and extremely eccentric family. As part of a bizarre wedding tradition, Grace is forced to play a deadly game of hide and seek with her new in-laws who are determined to hunt her down and kill her. Not a nice family, right? As the night progresses, Grace Grace must use all of her wits and cunning to outsmart her pursuers. The film is known for its dark humor in addition to clever commentary on the wealthy elite, as well as its inventive and suspenseful set pieces. The cast in this movie is awesome. Ready or Not is a fun and very entertaining movie that offers something unique and fresh in the slasher genre. If you're looking for a horror comedy that will keep you thoroughly entertained the entire time, and it's great for a date night too, Ready or Not is definitely worth checking out.
Honestly, if this was a horror movie, I'd be one of the first ones to get killed.
Cue the creepy dude in the mask.
Now, when this came out, I thought it was going to be pure trash, but it ended up being a ton of fun, and that's Freaky. Freaky is a 2020 horror comedy that follows the story of Millie, a high school student who becomes the target of a serial killer known as the Blissfield Butcher. However, after a magical encounter with an ancient dagger, I love the premise of this movie, Millie and the Butcher magically switch bodies, forcing Millie to navigate the world as a killer while the Butcher wreaks havoc in Millie's body. As Millie tries to regain control of her body and stop the Butcher before he continues to kill people, she learns important lessons about self-confidence and self-worth. The film is known for its extremely clever twist on the classic body swap trope, as well as a lot of inventive and gory kills. Freaky is fun as hell, extremely entertaining, and offers something unique and fresh to the horror genre. If you're looking for a movie that'll make you laugh and cringe in equal measure and also reel at the gore effects, Freaky is absolutely worth checking out.
It's cool you get to remember your mom this way.
At least I get to see her on the anniversary of her death, even if she is being chased by a psycho.
Now, somehow the most wholesome movie on this list ends up being about a bunch of final girls, and that is called The Final Girls. The Final Girls is a 2015 horror comedy movie that follows the story of Max, a high school student who, along with her friends, get transported into a world of classic 80s slasher movie called Camp Bloodbath. As they try to survive the killer and find a way back to the real world, Max and her friends must navigate the cliches and tropes of the slasher genre while also coming to terms with their own personal traumas. It's a really fun movie. It pokes fun at the tropes of the slasher film. And along the way, Max also reconnects with her late mother, who starred in the original Camp Bloodbath movie and serves as an inspiration to Max's own bravery and resilience in the film. It's heartfelt. I love this movie. The film's known for its clever deconstruction of the slasher genre and emotional moments throughout, with a lot of lessons learned through the characters. The Final Girls is a fun and entertaining horror comedy that offers something unique and very fresh to the genre. If you're a fan of classic horror movies and want to see them turned on their head, well, The Final Girls is up your alley then. This one's on Shudder, really fun film. Haunt is a 2019 horror movie that follows a group of friends who decided to visit an extreme haunted house attraction on Halloween night. However, as they make it through the various rooms and mazes in the haunted house, they realize that the scares are all too real and the attraction's operators have some very sinister intentions. The friends must band together and fight for their survival as they are haunted by the haunt's sadistic staff. The film is known for intense and graphic violence that's done very well. There's a ton of claustrophobia. The atmosphere and tension is great in this film, especially with the haunted house backdrop. Haunt is a chilling and suspenseful horror movie that will keep you thoroughly entertained up until the end of the film. If you're a fan of haunted house stories and survival horror, you're gonna dig this flick.
Are you okay?
That was 1978.
Now, this is a more recent film, and it's a trilogy on Netflix, but it has the slasher tropes in spades, and it's a lot of fun, and that is the Fear Street Trilogy. The Fear Street Trilogy is a series of interconnected horror movies that were released, like I said, on Netflix in 2021. The movies are set in the fictional town of Shadyside, Ohio, and follows the story of a group of teenagers who uncover a dark secret that has been plaguing their town for centuries. As they try to unravel the mystery, they must confront various supernatural entities and evil forces that are unleashed upon them. These movies are a lot of fun, and I love to watch how things are interconnected between the films. The first movie, Fear Street Part 1, 1994, is a slasher movie that pays homage to the classic horror movies of the 90s, and the second movie, Part 2, 1978, is set in the 70s and follows the story of a summer camp that is hunted by a vengeful killer. And the third and final movie, Part 3, 1666, is a period piece that takes place in the 17th century and explores the original original curse that's been haunting Shadyside for generations. The trilogy is known for its unique blend of horror and nostalgia, as well as its well-developed characters and thrilling plot twists. It is gory as hell. All the kills are super fun. It's got a fresh take on the slasher and supernatural horror genres. It's a must-watch if you dig slasher flicks.
I just moved in around the corner.
The old candy factory.
I'm an artist.
You looking for Candyman?
And the last one on my list is Candyman. Candyman is a 2021 horror movie that serves as a direct sequel to the original 1992 film of the same name. Categorized as a supernatural slasher film, the story follows an artist named Anthony McCoy who becomes obsessed with the legend of Candyman, a vengeful spirit who is summoned when his name is spoken 5 times in front of a mirror. As Anthony delves deeper into the history of Candyman, he begins to experience terrifying hallucinations and strange events that threaten his sanity and his very existence. The visuals in this movie are fantastic too. It has its own vibe in itself. The movie explores themes of gentrification, police brutality, the power of storytelling, while also paying homage to the original film's themes of racism and also urban legend. The visuals and sound design are haunting, very memorable, and a standout performance too by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Anthony McCoy. Overall, Candyman is smart as hell, stylish, and a very thought-provoking horror movie that is definitely sure to satisfy you horror fans out there who love slasher flicks. What are your favorite modern slasher flicks in the genre? Are you going to go see the new Scream movie? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I will scare you guys next time.